My God, I sure brought a paper airbag into that movie with me so I could feel the need to breathe and calm myself down. So A Quiet Place Part 2 is a sequel to the suspense thriller that came out in 2018. It was created by John Krasinski and it received a lot of high praise, and it really made fans like myself of the first movie really look forward to the second movie. I'm really happy to tell you that this sequel, A Quiet Place Part 2, not only lives up to the hype, but it also takes it up a notch as well. This movie does a really excellent job of sticking to its thriller suspense DNA that it had in the first film, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire movie. With the exception of maybe the first 5 minutes, I found myself watching the film with my eyes as wide as they could possibly go and my jaw really, really close to the floor. Every waking moment is pretty much spent just fearing for these characters' lives and constantly being on the lookout for the next obstacle, all the while being dead silent and just trying not to make a sound. It's insane. The movie excellently keeps you engaged by introducing a lot of these new obstacles throughout, and a lot of times they blossom one after another, or sometimes they even build on each other, so it's like your heart rate is just through the roof the entire time. This variety really kept the movie unpredictable and exciting without throwing too much at you and confusing you throughout the experience, which was a really nice adage as well. A really great surprise in this movie for me was Cillian Murphy. Not only was his performance outstanding, but he was actually in the film for most of it, and going into the movie, I didn't even know that Cillian Murphy was in it. I knew very little going into this film, and the fact that I got the surprise of he was probably in 90% of the movie, it just made the experience that much better because Cillian Murphy, I think, is an excellent actor. He did a really good job at also gelling with Millicent Simmons and Emily Blunt as well, so the chemistry was really nice there overall. Everyone's performance in this movie was pretty great, and with so many situations constantly changing and evolving on a dime and altering these stakes that these characters face, each performance really compounded on those stakes by really drawing us into the conflict and making us feel that same peril that they're feeling as these crazy alien monsters are clawing at their arms, legs, limbs, and otherwise. When shit was hitting the fan, each actor did a really great job at conveying that, oh my God, they're fearing for their lives. And at the same time, I'm watching the movie like, oh my God, I'm fearing for their lives. And not only that, but I would say that A Quiet Place Part 2 did a great job of satisfying our curiosity while not straying too far away from its path. The movie takes us on a small journey as to the first day that these aliens came into, or I should say these creatures came into Earth, and what it was like to be at ground zero essentially when all this went down. It was a nice edge for fans of the first, because for me personally, one of the questions I had after watching the first was, okay, what was day one like? What was ground zero like? How did everyone react when all these creatures came? It's also really nice for brand new fans who might not have seen A Quiet Place Part 1, because with this adage of day one, it prevents you from having to see A Quiet Place Part 1 and allows you to jump right into A Quiet Place Part 2 and still have a fantastic time and enjoy the movie. So the movie had a lot of great, excellent flexibility in that regard as well. Without feeling out of place, it doesn't feel so jarring that it makes the movie feel like it's wasting time. It felt like it fit perfectly. So ladies and gentlemen, overall, I think A Quiet Place Part 2 is one of the best thrillers I've ever seen. The movie continuously builds and creates suspense throughout the entire experience, and the performances really help bring the audience along for the ride so that you can really, your heart will be pounding and you will feel the peril that these characters is feeling while you're watching the movie. Your jaw will probably hit the floor the entire time. Lastly, the flexibility of the film really makes it an easy experience to jump into for new fans while also fulfilling the curiosity of veteran fans just like myself. So this movie I would recommend to anybody. Overall, I'm going to say this movie is amazing, and if you haven't seen it yet, do yourself a favor and please go watch it. Anybody can enjoy it. All right, my friends, so now I ask you, have you seen A Quiet Place Part 2? If you have, let me know what you thought about it. If you haven't seen it, are you looking forward to it? Comment below and let me know. This has been the Bankrupt Hippo YouTube channel. I've been Bryce. Until the next video, have a great day.